What is the G League Ignite's future? Still visiting my parents for a little bit longer, but guys, I'm a basketball nerd. I'm a basketball geek. And when I come across something that I think needs to be shared, share it. Now, John Hollinger wrote, he's back from the G League showcase, and he's wondering about the G League's future. If you guys don't know, there's 29 G League teams, and the other 28 G League teams are affiliated with an NBA team, except for Mexico City and Portland Trailblazers and the Phoenix Suns don't have G League teams. Now, the NBA G League Ignite, if you guys aren't aware, is a team run by the league which pays considerably large salaries. The usual G League salary, I think, is like between 35,000 and like $80,000 a year. They're dishing out six-figure contracts, like 100,000, 500,000, I think even a million for some players, with the idea of developing these young prospects on the G League Ignite squad for the NBA. This season roster includes Scoot Henderson, London Johnson, Mojave King, Sidi Sissoko, Babacar Sane, and Efi Abogidi. Hopefully I said those names correctly. Tell me the correct pronunciation down below. And this is the third year of the G League Ignite squad. This team has sent Dyson Daniels, Jaden Hardy, Marjan Beauchamp, Jalen Green, Dacian Nix, Isaiah Todd, and Jonathan Kuminga to the NBA. However, according to John Hollinger, people around the league, both leading up to the event and at the event itself, were talking about they were questioning the league's approach. For starters, why is the league spending all this money to develop players who would just develop somewhere else? What's the point of this exactly? There was some idea that keeping these players out of rival non-NCAA options like the Overtime Elite or the Australian Next Star programs would help market them for the next level. But the G League Ignite team isn't playing in packed houses. Meanwhile, with the NIL money now a factor in college basketball, will any of this even be competitive? Because clearly they can pay you more in NIL money than what the NBA is paying these guys. We saw Drew Timme said he only went back because I think he got like $3 million to go back to Gonzaga. From a marketing perspective, the biggest impact of the G League Ignite was providing an opponent for Victor Wembanyama's Metropolitans 92 team when they visited October. That two-game set massively helped fan base of the NBA get hyped for the number one overall pick for next year's draft. Given the expense, some have questioned the league's roster choice as well. Like, paying for Henderson might be one thing, but most of the other players are fringe prospects. Like, why? This is what a question was. One league source told John Hollinger this. Why is the NBA paying almost $500,000 for a two-way guy? They're saying multiple guys on the G League Ignite are two-way guys. There's a deeper question, and I brought this up myself in many past G League videos. Is this program even good at developing players? I personally don't think it is. I don't think they're good at developing players. I think the NBL, where RJ Hampton, LaMelo Ball, Ousmane Dang, Jayshawn Tate, all have came out. Jayshawn Tate technically played there, and then he came over. But same thing with Jock Landale. I think the NBL, the guys who were drafted, Ousmane Dang, RJ Hampton, and LaMelo Ball, have been way better. I mean, only LaMelo Ball has, but I think they do a better job there. And even just playing in Europe is better. Now, this is something. Is the program good? Because maybe you give them a mulligan for the first year in the middle of the pandemic, but the Ignite League, the G League Ignite team was objectively a mess last season and seemed only a little bit better this year. And no one that John Hollinger talked to thinks that this team is well coached or well ran. And John Hollinger frequently offered this opinion before he could get around to asking about it. And Jaden Hardy looks a million times better on the Dallas G League team than he did on the Ignite team a year ago, which begs to differ. This is bad. And scouts are almost at a point of putting an asterisk next to an Ignite player's number, presuming they'll be better almost anywhere else. Many also question the fact that they aren't playing for anything that matters. I've said this is a huge part of the problem with the G League Ignite team. The G League does not matter. You play for yourself. You don't play for a championship. No one cares. You're just trying to show yourself. I've said this before. This is the problem with the G League. Why players shouldn't go there. When you go to the NBL, you're trying to win the NBL championship. You go play for a European team, you're trying to win whatever the championship is in that European team or the Euro League as well. And then if you go to college, you're trying to get to the NCAA tournament and win your conference championship. In the G League, you're not playing to win anything. You're just trying to look good for stats and for highlights. And so people think you're good. Many scouts and teams question the fact that they're not playing for anything, and every game in the NCAA season is, like it matters. While for them, every game is the combined for them. And the same problems with the overtime elite. Ignite left the G League showcase with the worst record, worst scoring margin in the G League after nearly doing the same thing last year. Last year's games were technically counted as exhibitions except for their 14 Showcase Cup contest where the Ignite went 9-21. Henderson played only 6 games. The Ignite won 3 of those, but are 1-11 without him. They're also a team that split 2 games against Victor Wembanyama's Metropolitan 92 squad. And look, Leonard Miller has shown clear progress over the season, and he was a guy who was already a borderline first-round pick. Now he's a guaranteed first-round pick. And, Scoot Henderson, probably would look better if he's playing more, but I think if Scoot did what Lamelo did, and Lamelo grew so much personally in Australia, and he spent, the year screwing around, jacking up 40-foot threes, okay? It's not like he grew hell, but, look, it just goes to show that the program has reached a point where people are asking questions. Unlike the other 29 G League franchises, this one has to continue proving to 30 NBA owners that it should exist because they're helping pay for it. Right now, it's not working out. Let's be honest.